State regime media known as Fox is spiraling out of control on live TV, collapsing before our eyes now day after day after the blue tsunami swept across these United States. You had on the morning show Kayleigh McEnany and others rooting for New York City to collapse and for Mamdani to fail. They said, we just should pray that things go horrible in New York City. Okay, that's crazy, number one. Number two, y'all live in New York City. They're actually rooting for the destruction of New York City so they can, what? Own the libs? Oh, that's a great way to own the libs. These people are pathetic. Here, play this clip.
But a lot of Jews voted
33%.
for him. And a lot of Jews voted for him.
And that breaks my heart.
New Yorkers aren't dumb. They got to elect who they wanted to lead them. And if he fails, they will elect someone else.
He will fail. Socialism failed in the Soviet Union. It'll fail in New York City.
Well, we should all be rooting for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should all be rooting for the city to succeed.
Socialism's not going to succeed in New York if you want it to look the way it is right now.
Then you had Laura Ingraham yesterday evening saying affordability is such an important issue. And thank God Donald Trump is the main person fighting for affordability. That's exactly what his tariffs are doing, making things more affordable for the American people. Don't you all feel that things are cheaper, that groceries are cheaper? That's what she actually says. Here, play this clip.
As for Zoran's affordability pitch, affordability is exactly what President Trump is focused on. That's why he's trying to use tariffs to improve the fiscal situation in the U.S. so we can have more jobs here, make more stuff here, and get lower interest rates here. And by the way, his drill baby drill is all about making energy more affordable, and it has.
I mean, the tariffs, the trade war against the world, it's the most disastrous economic policy ever. It's one of the things that fueled the Great Depression. And once again, it is causing economic calamity like all the Nobel laureates and people with basic understandings of common sense and economics could easily point out. It's why inflation is surging right now. But then you have another Fox host, Campagno, whatever her name is. She goes, the reality is affordability. Ingraham's right. And she says, Donald Trump is a master on the issue of affordability, and things would be so great right now. But former President Biden screwed it all up for Donald Trump. We're 10 months into the Trump presidency, and he promised he would make things affordable on day one. But folks, she says it's still Biden's fault. They're going to still be using this, in 2035? Trump would have done a great job, but it was Biden's fault. By the way, under Biden, inflation was decreasing to the Fed's target, and then Donald Trump put tariffs against the world and screwed it up. Here, play this clip.
So Democrats finally showed some fight, they said. And they said first, they were holding up signs at the no oligarchy and no kings, and we filibuster, and now we're voting. But as everyone has said here, it wasn't unexpected whatsoever. It's the same people that vote at midterms. It's the absence of the Republicans or the common sense thinkers that actually don't vote along party lines. That is what we were missing. They said it was a bad night for Donald Trump. But as Dana, you explained earlier, it was about a lot of the shaping and the yoking to the president that these candidates did, that it wasn't enough in the combating ads and the narratives to be able to surmount. The reality is that this affordability issue, that's not Donald Trump. He's still managing the detritus left behind by Biden, but right now the effects of which everyone is feeling.
More from Laura Ingraham. This was one of their talking points of state regime media. They're like, it wasn't that the Democrats won, she goes, on election day. Actually, it was the socialists who won that destroyed the Democrats. It was a wipeout of the Democratic Party. Did ChatGPT write that propaganda for you? We're like, type in propaganda. What would Putin say in this situation? Here, play this clip.
The real fight begins. That's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, last night wasn't a Democrat wipeout of Republicans so much as a socialist wipeout of the Democrat Party.
Then they bring on MAGA Republican Congresswoman Malliotakis, and she goes, and now in New York, they shall be counting the amount of bread loaves that we are to have in New York City as a result of Mamdani. Want to be very clear, though, Malliotakis. Remember Donald Trump's statement? You can only have 2 dolls for Christmas. Remember what Donald Trump has done with businesses? Seize control of Intel, taking major portions of government controlling business. Like, y'all realize that Donald Trump is actually a oligarchical communist? Like, do you see what's actually happening? And he wants to bring us all into AI feudalism at this point. Here, play this clip.
Look, New Yorkers are going to learn the hard way what socialism is. It's communism light. My mother fled communist Cuba, and my mother lost her home. And Zohran Mamdani says that we should abolish private property ownership. My mother's father's gas stations were taken away as small businesses. This is a man who wants to have government-run supermarkets. Ration food. He's going to tell people how many loaves of bread we can have in New York City. It is ludicrous, not to mention the public safety concerns that we have. He's going to drive the police out, and he's not going to replace them. And we're already down 7,000 cops in this city. So I'm concerned about public safety, quality of life. He wants to actually legalize prostitution. That's his job creation as economic development for women. It is just outrageous what's going to happen. And it's going to be incumbent upon people like me, the only Republican in our city, and President Trump, to hold him accountable, to try to do whatever we can to stop this train from totally running off the rail.
And then you get to Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm not sure who invents themselves and changes their personalities more, J.D. Vance or Vivek Ramaswamy. You tell me. J.D. Vance, 3 different names. He grew up, he said he was gay in high school, that he hated gay people, then he's from Appalachia, then he hates Trump, then he loves Trump. His name is Bauman, his name is Vance, his name is blah, 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 whatever. And then you have Vivek Ramaswamy, like multiple personalities. And Vivek goes, that's why I'm the affordability guy. He's trying to what? He's now pretending to be Mamdani. Here, play this clip.
I think the top lesson is that we have got to focus now on domestic economic policy, because as wrong as Zohran Mamdani's solutions are on affordability, it is the right problem to point to, where people in my home state, people across the country feel like their electric bills have gotten too high, feel like healthcare costs are out of control, grocery prices, or even you think about even just the daily cost of living or the affordability of housing. We're the party that has the right solutions. We just need to talk about that more vocally. A lot of that, Laura, is at the state and local level as well. President Trump, he's done his part. You think about, he's sealed the border. He has secured international peace abroad. So many accomplishments in the first 9 months of his presidency. That alone would be an accomplishment for the history books. But now it's up to leaders at other levels to now address those domestic economic policy issues, particularly this issue of affordability. And I want to see the Republican Party to be the party that actually leads the way rather than just sweeping this under the rug.
And I got to show you this point too, because Brett Baer from Fox lives in a $40 million mansion, by the way, in Florida. So he's interviewing, or something like that, is close to that. He's interviewing Donald Trump, and Brett Baer says, one of the things that Mamdani said during his victory speech is turn the volume up. And Donald Trump goes, very dangerous. Very dangerous to say, turn the volume up. Here, play this clip.
At one point he says, turn the volume up.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
How do you respond to that? Does that affect anything you're going to do?
It's a very dangerous statement for him to make, actually. And, you talk about danger. I think it's a very dangerous statement for him to make. He has to be a little bit respectful of Washington, because if he's not, he doesn't have a chance of succeeding. And I want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed. I don't want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed, and we'll see what happens.
Did you see reaching out to him?
I would say he should reach out to us, really. I think he should reach out. Right. I'm here. We'll see what happens, but I would think that it would be more appropriate for him to reach out to us.
This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this sports season. On PrizePicks, whether you're a football fan, a basketball fan, or a fan of both like me, it always feels good to be right. Now, I've been locked in on PrizePicks all season long, and now thanks to Steph Curry and the start of basketball season, I have even more ways to play. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Play PrizePicks to get action on football and basketball in more than 40 plus states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. PrizePicks now offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Steph Curry's points, three-pointers, and assists? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code MIDAS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code MIDAS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Okay. Then they bring in Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who previously lived in a $20 million replica of Barbie's Malibu Playhouse. I kid you not. It was in South Carolina. He had this pink, ridiculous looking mansion. And here he's got a message for you, America. 2026 is going to be gangbusters. 2025, we promised on day one things would get better. We lied, okay? He's like, just you wait until 2026. This is exactly, in my opinion, what Bernie Madoff sounds like. In my opinion, this is what Ponzi schemers sound like. This guy is so arrogant. He's like, let me explain to you what's gonna happen. Dude, just shut up. We know you're a con artist. We know this whole regime is a bunch of fraudsters, in my opinion. Here, play this clip.
A couple of things, Larry. One, I think 2026 is going to be a gangbuster year, and Americans will feel it in their pocketbooks, in their homes, and they will know that the economy is strong, that they are doing well. With the one big beautiful bill, and you and I were very early proponents for doing one bill, because could you imagine where we would be right now with these maniac Democrats if we hadn't, if we had other parts of the tax bill to pass? But the good news is we got it across on July 4th. But the thing with the bill, it's beautiful, but it's big. So at Treasury, we are going to start a every other week cadence of, we call it extract and educate. So we are going to extract a very important piece from the bill and then work to educate the public, educate the Republican congressmen, senators, the governors, working people all across the country on what is in the bill and how great it is for Americans.
Now, going back to Laura Ingraham, right? By the way, do you see these Fox hosts trying to cope? Like, the cope is real. And then here's what she says about the filibuster. Let's play this clip.
But it's time Congress also does its part. Passing the big, beautiful bill, that's not enough. We need to be as aggressive as the Democrat socialists are on all fronts. And until one Republican can convince me tonight that the Democrats won't dump the filibuster the first chance they get, I think they need to seriously consider listening to Trump and doing it first. Otherwise, Republicans will be playing a very dangerous waiting game, perpetually on the defensive, picked off one by smiling socialists who rule like Soviet tyrants. And that is the angle.
Then you had Trey Gowdy. What do they come up with, these people? They got Trey Gowdy, former MAGA Republican Congress member who's now a Fox host. And so he trashes Nancy Mace and other MAGA Republicans. And he says, you've got an apoplectic congresswoman having a psychotic episode in Charleston at an airport. He's referring to Nancy Mace, a MAGA Republican. Here, play this clip.
I think what he was getting at was, if you would talk more about the success we've had, we would not have had a bad night last night. I mean, there's no way to put a sugarcoat on what happened last night. I mean, Glenn Youngkin, that flip, New Jersey wasn't close. New York, I mean, those of us in South Carolina really didn't follow that race, and we're not surprised at it, but it does impact y'all. I think what the president's saying is, look, y'all got to talk more aggressively and persuasively about the success we have had, and do not get distracted. I mean, you look at the headlines recently, Sandra, and you got an apoplectic congresswoman who's having a psychotic episode in Charleston at an airport. You've got this debate over white nationalism. I think Trump is saying, Republicans, quit talking about all of that. Start talking about the best 10 months any president has ever had in our history, and maybe we have a chance in the midterm.
Then you have Jesse Waters on Fox, who then quickly gets fact-checked by Jessica on the show, by Jessica Tarlov on the show. And Jesse Waters is like, Trump needs to bring in these insurance executives. Insurance costs are too high. He's like, Donald Trump's done a perfect job getting inflation to 3%. That's exactly where we want it. But he's got to deal with these insurance execs. What do you mean he's done a good job getting inflation under control? It's gone up. Under Biden, it was going down. It was high at one point, but it was going down. And it was high at one point because Donald Trump destroyed the country with his handling of COVID and left us with, $8 trillion of additional debt that he created. And he destroyed the supply chain and then just slopped it on Biden, who had to freaking deal with it. But yes, the inflation was high under Biden, but it was going down, down, down. It was going towards 2%, and then it's going up. So let's just get our facts straight, Jesse. Donald Trump has increased inflation and it continues to rise. Here, play this clip.
The economy is still the number one issue, and Trump is in a very good job digging us out of the Bidenomics hole. Inflation's down to 3%, gas prices are down, and wages are up. But there are still people struggling out there. So he needs to pivot from the commander-in-chief thing to the kitchen table guy. And he needs to do it fast. I understand why he went overseas in the beginning. You got to bring all this money into the country. You got to do these trade deals. It's going to take a little time for those things to develop. But in the meantime, he's got a warp speed power plants going back online. He's got a warp speed housing construction, apartments. You can't even build an apartment in this city because they want less apartments, because that way the rent goes up and the real estate guys get rich. You also have to bring these insurance executives to Washington, D.C. and do something about the price of insurance. I don't know what it is, but something has to be done. And then you got to bring the AI guys in and say, if you're going to AI these guys out of a job, what's next? I don't know the answer to that. There has to be an answer to that. But he has to now be the economy guy, and he has to do it with laser focus, or you could see problems in the midterms.
So then Jessica Tarlov fact checks him. Here, play this clip.
Jesse says, he fixed the Biden economy. He got 3% inflation when Biden went out, and it's still 3%. Prices have gone up in a lot of categories. People can't afford things like school supplies. They're defaulting on their credit cards. You also say bad candidate. And
then you have Greg Gutfeld finally. He's like, this isn't a rebuke of Trump, okay? It's just bad candidates at the end of the day. That's what it is here. Here, play this clip.
Look, this isn't a rebuke of Trump. It's a consequence of an absent Republican Party. Lousy candidates. And I get it. It is hard to win in blue areas, but at least try. I mean, I think the first people to leave New York City were Republicans. Maybe we're the idiots sticking around here, but at least, try. I think, though, the lesson for Trump is stick to what got you to this dance, which is the economy and immigration, because you're finding immigration is tethered directly to the economy. Where is Doge? I don't know where Doge is. Bring Doge back. Crime, you got to hit it. Keep going with the crime. Sit with the meat and potatoes that makes most of America approve of the stuff you're doing.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. Watching Fox cope like that? Chef's kiss. Thanks for watching.
New Meidas merch. Head to store.MeidasTouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.